Hitting schools across Oregon, one of the programs on the chopping block may be the most memorable of all.
Fox 12 investigative reporter Ezra Kaplan joins us now with more on how outdoor school could be scaled back. Boy, kids love outdoor school, Ezra.
It's absolutely true. Now, if you grew up in Oregon, there's a good chance that you remember going to outdoor school, the cabins, the campfires, the first time you might have spent the night away from home. And for decades, it's been a rite of passage for 5th and 6th graders across the state. But now, budget cuts could mean that today's kids won't get that same experience. Heading into middle school, nature wasn't a top priority for Kai Shores.
As a 6th grader, I wasn't one to get out a lot. I was kind of like in my room. I played video games a lot.
That all changed when she got the chance to go to outdoor school, an immersive, field-based education experience available for every 5th or 6th grader in Oregon.
By the time I came back, I had kind of like blossomed into a new person. I was talking to kids that I would have never talked to.
It's a formative experience for many, but newly implemented budget cuts by the state legislature are threatening that opportunity as soon as this year.
It really is a crisis.
Spirit Brooks works for OSU Extension, which is responsible for distributing state funding to school districts, which each run their own outdoor school program.
In 2016, voters passed legislation that funded outdoor school for all 5th and 6th grade students in the state, and that allowed us a 4% lottery allocation every 2 years.
The state funding allowed for the program to be universally offered to districts across the state at no cost to families. But despite that voter-passed measure, this year the governor and lawmakers agreed on a budget that cut funding to outdoor school by $12 million, a 20% reduction. State Senator Kate Lieber was a co-chair of the Ways and Means Committee and told me that it was an especially hard year for balancing the budget. In a statement, she said the legislature prioritized K-12 funding, but still couldn't find money for everything. She blamed federal cuts under the Trump administration for making a tough year even tougher. And the impacts are already starting to be felt.
Some programs are shortening the length of program already, preemptively.
Multnomah County school officials are weighing whether to shorten outdoor school from 6 days to 4. Though they say that no final decision has yet been made. Meanwhile, Brooks stressed that outdoor school is school, and a lot of learning happens beyond the set lesson plans.
It's also a place where a lot of social emotional growth happens for students. So it may be the first time they're away from their families overnight. And so they're learning how to kind of navigate homesickness and all the things that happen when you're away, staying overnight somewhere.
So these are called wood cookies. We give them out to each of the kids. They have their names on them.
This year, Kai is headed back to outdoor school, but this time as a counselor. She says that the budget cuts have her worried about the next class of kids.
If we don't have outdoor school, I'm not sure how some of these kids will be able to discover the reasons why to go outside.
For Kai, outdoor school meant putting down the video games and finally touching grass. She hopes the next class gets that same chance. Now, we've reached out to all the major school districts around the area to find out what their plans are to deal with the budget cuts, and many tell us that they're still figuring it out, even with school starting today. They say that these funding reductions came in well after the current school year. Budgets had already been set, leaving them almost no time to prepare.
Ezra, this clearly tells a story of just how important this school is to so many, with Kai going from somebody who's gone to outdoor school and now wants to be a counselor. For those who aren't terribly familiar with this, can you give us just a brief synopsis of what this school does for kids and what it's about?
And so outdoor school is a program that's, like I said, available to students all across Oregon. It's really focused on science lessons. They're taking kids into nature. They're teaching them about science. There's all these different units from animals to nature. And one of the things that they say is that this could be brought back into classrooms. It's possible to do some of these lessons, but you don't get the same out of science lessons. You don't get the same connection to really that thing of Oregon, the nature, the
so valuable.
Yeah, the natural resources that we have here. They say that if you just take these lessons back into the classroom, you're going to miss out on that. In addition, there's a lot of learning that happens well outside of those lessons. You take a kid away from their home for maybe the first time in their life, the first overnight away from their parents. There's a lot to be learned there.
My kids loved it, absolutely loved it. My son went to the Oregon coast. It was raining sideways the whole time, and he was just in heaven.
Loved it,
you know,
loved
but
it.
just learned so much, loved it. And being outside in nature is just, as we know, so important mentally. You know, for people
and it
as
gives
well,
these
so.
kids a chance to connect.
Yeah.
And 5th and 6th grade, such an important time for those social, emotional kind of learning
Heading into middle
opportunities.
school. Wow. Okay. Well, let's hope they can figure it out.
We're hoping.
Ezra, thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you. All right, let's turn to Andy.